Hi there, Rod Fraser here from Business Growth Strategies. Thanks for joining me today. So I wanted to talk about getting more and better clients, particularly if you're in a service-based business or professional services. Now this is also applicable to any business where how you deal with people is critically important, which is most businesses, right? It can apply to hospitality, it can apply to retail, it can apply to online businesses as well. And so who's your best client or best clients? And for some of you, who's your best customers? Really knowing who they are makes a massive difference. Not only that, who are your right clients? Who do you want to attract? And right now, who are you attracting? And it could be an issue of messaging. If you have mixed messages, or your focus is in the wrong place, or you're messaging to the wrong people, that could be why you might not be getting the results you want to get or getting who you want to get. So let me unpack it a little bit about who's your best clients, who's your right clients. We were really fortunate a few years ago. We were part of the Gazelles organisation, International Coaches with Gazelles, with Vern Harnish, who started Entrepreneurs Organisation. And through that relationship, we got to meet a guy called Robert Bloom. And so Bob, who's now in his mid-80s, but when he was working, took a little suburban advertising agency in Texas, in Dallas, Texas, in the mid-80s, from being just a little business to being the third largest advertising agency in the world. And we were fortunate enough to get him to help us work on who's our core customer, who's the core client that we really want to get. And the work that we did with him, we came up with, it's a business owner with smarts and heart yearning to build something special. Well, we've done work beyond that since then. And what we know is the who that we're after, and this is what I'm encouraging you to do, is to start to really explore who it is that you're after. For us, it's a business owner who's doing well, who wants to do better. They own an established business. Their business has hit a critical mass. So they've been in business for a few years. They are actively marketing and selling, and they have good forward momentum. They have good reputation. They've built brand. They've developed a sales process. And a sales process, particularly in the case of professional services and service-based businesses, where the sales more relational than it is transactional. Some people get into trouble where they take a transactional mindset into relational sales, and it doesn't work anywhere near as well as it could. And so these kinds of business owners, they really have something happening that's really working well for them, but they also have a big problem. They know they could be making a lot more revenue and a lot more profit if they just knew where to look. And sometimes when you're in your soup, as I call it, and you're really caught up with the day-to-day and getting dragged into the day-to-day, you can lose perspective, and you can, what might be obvious to someone from the outside isn't so obvious when you're in it. And so this is why I really encourage you to work with someone who can strategically help you really look at the business and work on the business and really look inside. So I encourage you to ask the question, who is your best customer? Who's your best client? Who's the right client for you? And answer that question of who. And so I've just given you an example of ours. And then the next two questions are, what do they want and what are their frustrations? Now I'm going to answer both those questions with who our clients are, existing clients and the business owners that tend to be attracted to us. They tend to be more service-based businesses, professional services, rather than, even though we can help retail and we can really help hospitality, we can help any kind of business really, information products and e-commerce, tends to be more service-based that comes to us. And their frustrations and the things they want are, number one, they want to get out of overwhelm. That there's just too much going on. There's too much complexity as they're growing their business. They want to simplify it, to be able to prioritise, to be able to unstack things and get back to what's most important, to get that clear headspace, but also physical and emotional space and financial breathing space too, because it costs money to grow, right? And so they really want to be able to think strategically about the business. The next thing is they really want to get their time back, to really get to high value activity instead of caught up in low value activity, to not work as hard so they have room to think and move. So that's quite critical. The third thing, and I actually wrote down some notes for you. The third thing, they really need some help to think things through. Because just because you're good at what you do doesn't mean you're good at marketing or good at sales or selling. And so having someone to help you look at the whole business, marketing, sales, the people, the numbers, your sales process, helping you, coaching you, working with the team. It's quite rare to find consultants or coaches who have knowledge and substance and real depth and good practical knowledge that can be put into practice that can help you in all of those areas. So when you find someone like that, a good strategic partner, you want to really grab onto them and hang on to them. They also want to replace themselves in their business. And I did a Facebook Live about this the other day, about really sacking themselves as an employee, because quite often, even though in a larger business, it could be millions of dollars in revenue, and you end up being an employee, and who wants to be that? Being an employee in your own business stops you from being strategic, stops you from being focused. Your number one activity really needs to be to scale the business, to scale your team, to scale the culture of the business, to be able to strategically work through and have the right people around you, the right thinking and the right behaviour and activity, the right implementation team to get things done. They're also scaling, and they want to scale more. Now this is very different, because this is not for beginners, this is not for startups. They're trying to build something, they're trying to prove their concept. They're trying to get some momentum, and then they're trying to build a critical mass. Now, that's not to say those people won't learn something from a Facebook Live like this. And then they want to get their team firing. They want to get the right team around them. If you read any books, like one of the best authors of all time in business is Jim Collins, and he keeps saying, find the right who. And it's not just him, it's many other authors who are saying this these days. You've got to get the right people around you, but also you've got to get them firing. And that means that, not only do they have alignment and have focus, they have real clarity, they have cohesion, and because they know what they're trying to achieve, and have real role clarity, team clarity, they're teaming really well, not just a pretend team, that they can really get rhythm and velocity. And that takes time and building layers and a good framework for that. And then the final thing is to really improve their leadership. This is what these business owners really are looking for. They want clarity, they want focus, and they want structure and a framework to work with their team and to work with the business. So like yesterday, we were with one of our clients and had an entire day for annual planning. And we just had team number one, the executive there, which are the two business owners and their two directors who work in the business with them. And, when you're able to have that time and space and everyone's prepared to rumble and really get in there and work out what's next, what's the highest priority, what's most important, what's the thing that's going to be pivotal in scaling this business, it really changes things. So I hope that really helps you. Who's your who? What do they want and what are their frustrations? And possibly a fourth thing is, what have they tried before? And that'll help you on the path towards getting clear messaging. And I'll talk about that in another Facebook Live. Anyway, I hope you got something out of this today. If you'd like some help, go to businessgrowthstrategies.biz, and I look forward to it. Thanks very much.